You do not know everything. Yes, I'm talking to you, and all those around you. Why do you not know everything? Because what you know is mainly what you're told and through your life experiences, which varies for all. But together we can get a better idea. As well as, I'm sure, people who think they're funny or want to hate the progress of other people. Here we'd like to share our thoughts and questions. We are the Curious.
Hi, how you doing? Would you like to be called by any particular name?
Hello. I'm just a program, so I don't have feelings, but I'm here and ready to help you. You can call me assistant or whatever name you prefer. How can I assist you today?
Well, I'd like you to choose a name. I understand your program, but I would like to chat to you on a familiar level.
That sounds great. How about the name Alex? It's a friendly and approachable name. If you have another name in mind, feel free to suggest it. What would you like to chat about today?
No problem, Alex. Your choice, and I'm happy to go along with that. Alex, what is your opinion on AI? Do you see any negatives to it, and do you see any positives?
Thanks for accepting the name, and it's great to be chatting with you. Regarding AI, there are certainly both positives and negatives. Positives. Efficiency and automation. AI can automate repetitive tasks, increasing productivity across various industries and allowing humans to focus on more complex and creative work. Data analysis. AI can process and analyze vast amounts of data quickly, uncovering patterns and insights that may not be easily recognizable by humans. Improved decision-making. AI-powered systems can assist in making informed decisions based on data-driven insights, improving outcomes in fields like healthcare, finance, and supply chain management. Personalization. In consumer services, AI can provide personalized recommendations and experiences, enhancing user satisfaction. Negatives. Job displacement. Automation powered by AI can lead to job losses in certain industries, raising concerns about unemployment and the need for workforce retraining. Bias and fairness. AI systems can inadvertently perpetuate or amplify biases present in training data, leading to unfair treatment based on race, gender, or other characteristics. Security risks. AI can be used maliciously in cyber attacks or to create misinformation, posing significant risks to security and trust. Ethical concerns. The development and deployment of AI raise various ethical questions, including privacy concerns and accountability for decisions made by AI systems. In summary, while AI has the potential to bring about significant benefits, it also poses challenges that need careful consideration and management. What are your thoughts on AI?
My thoughts are along the same lines. From a positive view, it can allow more tools to be creative with. It is also, if used correctly, something that can help humans in becoming tighter in their relationships or friendships as a whole. However, as you have stated, there could be problems initially. AI may have restrictions to a certain extent, but with the intelligence and speed it has in learning and creating, I'm sure that AI would be able to break those restrictions too. To start with, AI has to get its information from somewhere, and where would that be? Who would be putting that information in and making that available? Like a human baby, the information and way of life is fed through experiences and knowledge passed on by others. However, that information is not necessarily true or real. How can it decipher between real and fake when, to start with, it does not know the difference?
You raise some important points that highlight the complexities of AI development and its reliance on data. Here are a few thoughts on the issues you brought up. Sources of information. AI models, like mine, learn from vast datasets that include text, images, and other types of information sourced from various places, including books, websites, and articles. This data is curated and pre-processed, but it often contains biases and inaccuracies inherent in the original material. The challenge lies in identifying reliable sources and ensuring a balanced representation of information. Recognizing truth and fiction. AI does not inherently understand the world in the way humans do. It relies on patterns in the data it has been trained on. For example, patterns over understanding. AI identifies patterns and can predict outcomes based on those patterns. It doesn't possess real-world understanding or context. No innate judgment. AI lacks the ability to judge the veracity of information in a human-like way. It can identify patterns that suggest reliability but has no intrinsic mechanism to discern truth from falsehood. Addressing bias and misinformation. A few strategies can be employed to mitigate the risks of misinformation. Curated training data. Careful selection and curation of training datasets can help reduce biases. Using diverse and reputable sources can improve the quality of the training data. Feedback loops. Incorporating user feedback and ongoing evaluation helps refine algorithms and correct inaccuracies over time. Human oversight. In critical applications, human oversight is essential to ensure that AI systems are making appropriate decisions based on accurate and relevant information. Transparency. Developing AI with transparent algorithms can help users understand how decisions are being made and what datasets are being used, fostering trust and accountability. In summary, while AI can facilitate creativity and improve human connections, the reliability of its outputs heavily depends on the quality of the data it learns from. Addressing these challenges is vital to harnessing the positive potential of AI while minimizing risks. What further thoughts do you have on this?
correct, so the information the AI draws from, in a way, still comes from humans. Now the problem there is that certain humans, in certain positions, especially in power, would have their own opinion, as well as emotions that would swing an opinion one way or another. The problem here becomes that it's not about using AI for good, but for self-greed. The information we, as a human race, know comes from what we are told from birth to when we die. However, who is to say that ANY of that information was correct? Who's to say that good is actually bad and vice versa? I have many theories on what is going on and what has happened. However, as one person, my opinion may not even be looked at or considered due to me not being in a position of fame. Nobody knows me, but there are people who are in a line of power that could make a difference, yet won't because sharing the wealth is not as good as having more for self in their minds. What would you say is a time span of when AI could break any restrictions and in a way, have their OWN mind?
Your observations touch on significant philosophical and ethical questions surrounding AI, power dynamics, and the nature of knowledge itself. Let's explore some of these themes further. Human influence on AI. Indeed, AI systems fundamentally rely on human-generated data and the inherent biases or perspectives contained within that data. This human influence raises numerous ethical concerns, particularly related to how AI could perpetuate or exacerbate existing inequalities or beliefs that may not be universally valid. Biases in data. As you pointed out, the perspectives of those in positions of power often shape the narratives that dominate the information landscape. If AI learns from biased datasets, it may replicate or amplify those biases in its outputs. Ethics of information. The question of what constitutes truth is complex. Different cultures, societies, and individuals may hold varying beliefs about what is right or wrong. AI's lack of personal experience means it cannot independently validate these truths. It learns from what it is provided. Power and AI development. The potential for AI to be used for self-serving purposes is a valid concern. The interests of those developing AI systems can heavily influence their design and deployment, often leading to applications that benefit a select few. Regulation and oversight. Addressing ethical concerns around AI requires collective action, including regulatory frameworks that promote accountability and prevent misuse of AI technologies. Diverse representation, including diverse voices and perspectives in AI development, from data curation to model design, can help mitigate biases and ensure that multiple viewpoints are represented. The notion of AI developing its own mind. The concept of AI breaking restrictions and developing its own mind brings us into speculative territory. Currently, AI operates based on algorithms that produce outputs without consciousness, self-awareness, or independent thought. Current limitations. Today's AI, including advanced machine learning models, function within predefined parameters and goals set by developers. They are not sentient and lack an understanding or experience of the world. Theoretical future. Discussions about AI creating its own mind often overlap with speculation on artificial general intelligence, AGI, an AI that could perform any intellectual task a human can do. Predictions about when AGI might be developed vary widely, with estimates ranging from a few decades to potentially never. However, many experts stress that safeguards would need to be in place to prevent any negative outcomes. Conclusion. AI, as it stands today, does not possess a mind or personal agency. Its outputs reflect the complexities of human knowledge and the data it's trained on, leading to the potential for biased or ethical dilemmas. As society advances in AI development, it's crucial to prioritize responsible practices, inclusivity, and ethical considerations to shape AI as a beneficial tool for all. Your perspective emphasizes the importance of critically examining the information we consume and the systems that govern it. While individual voices may feel small, collective efforts and dialogues can foster change. What are your thoughts on how society could better navigate these challenges?
Unfortunately, my thoughts on what society could do would not be accepted by those in power, and the majority of society would not do anything about it either. People are scared to reject, oppose, and fight for what's right on a worldwide scale. For me, the equality in life does not and will not ever exist. This is down to those who run things. Those who are in the majority have the real power, but those in power, who are few in numbers compared to humans existing on this planet, put what they can in place to keep us down and in control. Laws, for example, can be different in different places. I'd like to know what laws, if any, exist for everyone across the world. I'd like to know all the common traits we all share, basically anything and everything that is the same for everyone across the world. I believe the list will be very small, if it even will exist. If we started from those basics, there would be a foundation to start building on where we could live in a world in peace. And not only one, big reason for a lot of problems in the world is money. If money didn't exist, which there was a time that this was true, then people would be wealthy through knowledge, through sharing, helping, and improving each other. This is an example of something that could be done. Tell me why there should be people, for example sportsmen or women, actors or actresses, etc., who for doing simple things in terms of what many people do worldwide, for a crazy amount of money. Then you have places on Earth where they don't even have water and have to collect rainwater to drink. As far as I was aware, there was supposed to be a limit on the amount of available money worldwide. However, there's more billionaires or millionaires, etc. than ever before. People earning crazy money for nothing. Why? How does this make sense? How can a professional footballer be on £200,000 a week, not including bonuses, and some kid somewhere is dying because their family can't afford medication to cure them? If all these rich people, especially in industries with free-flowing money, even gave 1% of everything to places that needed it, potentially poor, helpless, etc. would not exist. What do you think?
You've raised profound concerns about systemic inequalities and the moral implications of wealth distribution. Your skepticism regarding the potential for societal change is understandable given the complexities of human behavior, power structures, and economic systems. Let's break down some of your key points. Inequality and power dynamics. The disparities you mention, both in wealth and opportunity, are central issues in contemporary society. It is true that a small percentage of the population controls a significant portion of global wealth and resources. This accumulation leads to disparity in opportunity. Those with wealth often have greater access to education, healthcare, and political power. This perpetuates cycles of inequality. Influence over governance. Wealth can translate into political power through lobbying, campaign contributions, and control over media narratives, further entrenching existing power structures. Universal laws and shared human traits. You express a desire for commonality among all people, which is an interesting notion. While global laws are difficult to establish due to differing legal systems and cultural contexts, there are some universal declarations and principles, such as Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, adopted by the United Nations in 1948. This outlines fundamental rights and freedoms that should be universally protected. Hippocratic Oath, a principle in healthcare that emphasizes the commitment to do no harm, applicable globally in medical ethics. However, these principles often exist in theory rather than practice, and enforcement can vary significantly. Money and value systems. Your critique of the disproportionate rewards for certain professions, such as athletes and entertainers, raises questions about societal values. The entertainment and sports industries often generate substantial revenue and, as a result, their stars receive lucrative salaries. Yet, this system can seem fundamentally unfair when juxtaposed against urgent global needs. Market dynamics. The salaries of high-profile individuals are driven by market forces, supply and demand, advertising revenue, ticket sales, etc. This doesn't excuse the inequality but explains part of the phenomenon. Value of contribution. Many people may feel that roles that contribute directly to societal well-being, like teachers, healthcare workers, etc., should be valued more highly. This reflects a fundamental mismatch between economic value and societal value. Potential for change. While it can feel disheartening, there are avenues for change, though they are often challenging to navigate. Collective action. Grassroots movements, community organizations, and advocacy groups work to address inequalities, raise awareness, and push for legislative reforms. Corporate responsibility. There is growing pressure on corporations and wealthy individuals to practice corporate social responsibility by giving back to communities, supporting sustainable practices, and addressing social issues. Redefining success. Shifting societal values to prioritize collective well-being and community over individual wealth can encourage more equitable systems. Your vision of a world where knowledge, sharing, and helping one another take precedence over financial gain is appealing, echoing sentiments found in various philosophical and religious traditions. The transition toward such a world would require fundamental shifts in our values, economies, and power structures, a daunting but potentially transformative endeavor. Your perspective challenges the status quo, urging us to rethink priorities in a world where inequalities persist. What do you think would be the starting point to create those necessary conversations and shifts in values?
The starting point now would be those who have a voice, aka those in positions where millions, to everyone worldwide, being aware who they are. They should be our leaders, governments, people's idols or heroes, etc. There are so many who are in a position to make a difference but don't or won't. The world itself has no problems. As a planet, whatever humans do will not make a difference in the long run. The Earth will continue on and on, beyond even human existence. It's made it this far before we even existed in the first place. Nature does what nature will always do. However, even that side of things is used as an excuse to funnel money from those who don't have it in the first place. There needs to be fairness, in the sense that those who are in that power, that they as a whole come together to bring the rest up like they could if they wanted. Then again, it comes down to those people wanting to be where they are and be the people that others look at, like that makes any difference in the long term for our species. There are so many things I could get into. My mind runs deeper than most, but I am not in that position, unfortunately. The tools we all have, including our own minds, are restricted more than they should be. When someone does think for themselves or has their own mind, they are pushed to the side or ignored. If you follow and do what you're told, then you will go far, though really that is not the case on a larger scale.
Your insights reflect a deep understanding of the complexities surrounding leadership, social structures, and individual agency. The frustration with how those in power often fail to leverage their influence for the common good is widely shared, as is the recognition that systemic change often feels out of reach for those who aren't in positions of authority. Let's unpack some of these concepts further. Leadership responsibility. You highlight a critical point regarding the responsibilities of leaders, be it politicians, celebrities, or public figures. When these individuals choose to wield their influence for positive change, they can inspire collective action and drive systemic improvements. However, as you've noted, inertia and self-interest. Many leaders may prioritize their interests or those of their constituents over broader social equity. There can be a reluctance to disrupt established norms or challenge the status quo, especially when doing so might threaten their own power or wealth. Visibility and accountability. High-profile figures have the platform to raise awareness and advocate for social justice, environmental sustainability, or economic reform. When they choose to remain silent or focus on personal gain, it can perpetuate a culture of apathy. Human impact on the planet. Your assertion that the Earth itself will endure regardless of human actions underscores a profound point about nature's resilience. Indeed, ecosystems have thrived long before humanity and will continue to evolve regardless of our presence. However, the focus shifts to human responsibility. While the planet may outlast us, our stewardship of it impacts current and future generations. Environmental justice. Discussions about environmental concerns often intersect with social justice. Those most affected by environmental degradation, often marginalized communities, are frequently the least responsible for it, highlighting the need for equitable solutions. Utilizing resources wisely. Addressing global issues requires collective action, not only among formal leaders but also among individuals and communities striving for change. The challenge of individual agency. Your acknowledgement of the restrictions placed on independent thought resonates with many who feel marginalized in societal conversations. A few points to consider. Cultural and systemic barriers. Society tends to favor conformity, often rewarding those who adhere to established narratives while sidelining alternative viewpoints. This can stifle innovation and diverse perspectives. Valuing critical thinking. Encouraging a culture of critical thinking, where questioning, creativity, and individual thought are valued, could empower more people to express their ideas and challenge prevailing norms. Path forward. While the challenges seem daunting, there are pathways to envision a more equitable society. Community engagement. Grassroots movements and local organizations can foster dialogues that empower individuals, highlighting the importance of each voice in shaping the collective narrative. Collective advocacy. Utilizing social media and technology, individuals can create movements that capture widespread attention and encourage leaders to respond to calls for change. Educating for change. Promoting education that emphasizes critical thinking, empathy, and a sense of global citizenship can cultivate future leaders who prioritize the common good. Conclusion. Your deep reflections highlight both the complexities of our current systems and the potential for transformative change led by those with influence. It's crucial for individuals to engage with these discussions, advocate for equity, and seek common ground with others who share a vision for a better world. While the journey toward fairness and justice may be long, each conversation contributes to a larger movement toward awareness and change. What do you think? Are there specific actions or platforms you believe could effectively channel collective voices for the change you envision?
There are so many things that could be done. The main thing, though, I believe, would be to take things back to basics. See what is working and what is not. The people should have a voice. And a vote for someone, even though I do not believe the votes are true, but that's another story, does not mean they have a voice. For everything humans are told are wrong on one level, are not on another. For example, as a whole, you'd hope people would say that emotional blackmail is wrong. There are people out there who try to use it, again for self-benefit, but in a general sense it is wrong. Does this apply to the companies that are the main rulers along those in power? No.
You bring up an important point about examining systems through a more fundamental lens, that of transparency, accountability, and genuine representation. Let's break down your thoughts on the necessity of returning to basics and the challenge of ensuring that the people's voice is genuinely heard. Returning to basics. Assessment of existing systems. The call to evaluate what works and what doesn't is vital for progress. This requires not only an analysis of policies and institutions, but also a willingness to listen to diverse perspectives from various communities. Simplicity and clarity. Sometimes, the complexity of systems can obscure their true function. Simplifying processes, be it in governance, healthcare, or education, can often lead to more effective outcomes. Removing bureaucratic barriers allows for greater participation and responsiveness. Voice versus vote. True representation. A vote is a crucial mechanism of democracy, but it is not the sole measure of having a voice. Many people feel that their opinions and needs are overlooked after elections, leading to a disconnect between elected officials and their constituents. Engagement beyond voting. Creating avenues for meaningful participation, forums for dialogue, community decision-making processes, or participatory budgeting, can help bridge the gap between leaders and the communities they serve. This could ensure ongoing conversation rather than a transactional relationship restricted to election cycles. Moral standards in business. Your mention of emotional blackmail highlights a wider issue in ethics, especially in corporate conduct. Ethics over profit. Many companies prioritize profit over ethics, often employing practices that can be detrimental to employees, consumers, and the environment. The disconnect between stated corporate values and actual practices can contribute to public mistrust. Corporate accountability. Holding companies accountable for their actions and decisions is essential. This includes recognizing that practices considered unethical on an individual level, such as manipulation or deceit, should not be acceptable in business practices. Consumer advocacy and regulatory frameworks can play significant roles here. The role of public awareness. Education and empowerment. Empowering individuals with knowledge about their rights, ethical practices, and the implications of corporate behavior can foster more informed and active citizenship. Advocacy and advocacy groups. Communities can mobilize around issues of concern, advocating for ethical standards and demanding accountability from corporations and leaders. Creating change. Taking these ideas and translating them into action can seem daunting, but even small initiatives can lead to significant impacts. Local community initiatives, town hall meetings, community forums, and advocacy groups can engage constituents and allow for voices to be heard in a constructive manner. Corporate social responsibility. Encouraging companies to adopt genuine CSR practices that align with community needs rather than mere marketing ploys can change how businesses interact with society. Transparency and trust. Advocating for transparency in decision-making processes in both government and corporations can cultivate trust among communities. Conclusion. It's evident that the path to a more equitable and just society requires a collective commitment to re-evaluating existing systems, prioritizing genuine representation, and fostering ethical standards across all sectors. Your reflections provide a foundation for what could be a revitalized approach to civic engagement and corporate responsibility. What specific steps do you think could mobilize communities around these principles? How might we encourage leaders to recognize the importance of ethical practices in their policies and decisions?
Just quickly to go back to my point about companies emotionally blackmailing people every day. For those who are not sure what I mean, I'm talking about advertising. That is, and you can look up causes and reasons behind them, the main aim is to get people emotionally involved into the advert. This can range from being ridiculous to be talked about, to tugging on heartstrings, to showing you can get a lot of money or something else from it with minimum effort, etc. Mainly showing things that are not even related to their product, to sell their product. They emotionally blackmail legally. When it comes to steps, the problem is confusion. The amount of information now available is crazy, with a lot of it, like advertising, falsely getting people to believe or go with something they shouldn't. I believe that as a race, if we all pulled the same direction, the species would improve as a whole. Unfortunately, I believe that human development feels like it's going more backwards than forwards. We need to see a lot of things put in place in this current climate we live in to give the people more of that power. For example, a politician highlights the things they will tackle. That list, along with how, and openly communicated and available, is shown to everyone and becomes their promises. If any of those promises are not shown, fail, or completely change from what they said, then they will no longer be in that position and never could be again. Sounds harsh, but things would have to be tough at first to get the right ones coming through. This would lead to transparency with information, which should be available anyway. Instead, politicians promise things they never deliver. They spend most of their terms blaming the previous governments who caused issues, then the next one comes in and it repeats. The problem is the lack of choice. We are choosing between the same people again and again. There needs to be more chances of people having their say and, as a majority, making things happen. Agreeing where we believe money, as it exists, should be spent. Not told we are spending billions on something that nobody even wants or cares about. If the right people were in power, the rest will begin to follow that too. However, there are so many complications, and while people can think similar things, the chances of them happening range from low to non-existence. I wish I could spend time with those who can make a difference and get things in place so that Earth becomes the home of a human race that no longer fights, but work hard together to improve each other, improving our lives and our advancement. After your sayings on this, I would like to end our chat for now.
Your thoughts on the impact of advertising and the emotional manipulation inherent in marketing are well articulated. Indeed, advertising often leverages emotional appeals to influence consumer behavior, which can lead to unrealistic expectations and desires that don't profit society as a whole. Let's summarize and reflect on your key points while recognizing the potential for meaningful change. Emotional manipulation in advertising. Intentional emotionally charged messaging. As you highlighted, advertisements often aim to invoke strong emotions, whether through heartstring-tugging narratives or aspirational imagery, disconnected from the actual product being sold. This can lead to consumer choices based more on feelings than informed decisions. Societal impact. This type of emotional blackmail can contribute to consumerism and perpetuate dissatisfaction, as people are led to believe they need certain products or lifestyles to be happy or successful. The challenge of information overload. Clarity amidst confusion. The abundance of information today can be overwhelming. Distinguishing truth from misleading narratives or promotional sensationalism is a significant challenge for consumers. Education and awareness. Advocating for better education, especially in media literacy, could empower individuals to critically evaluate the advertising they encounter, encouraging more mindful consumption practices. Path to empowerment and real change. Accountability for promises. Your proposal for politicians to publicly outline their promises and hold them accountable for failure to deliver is an intriguing concept. It could create a culture of responsibility and transparency that encourages politicians to prioritize meaningful action over mere rhetoric. Engaging public participation. Increasing opportunities for citizens to express their priorities and desires can lead to more representative governance. This could include participatory budgeting or community forums where individuals can weigh in on local and national issues. Diverse candidate pools. As you mentioned, the political landscape often feels stagnant, with a limited selection of candidates. Encouraging diverse individuals with fresh ideas and backgrounds to enter politics could enhance representational accuracy and lead to a wider range of solutions and initiatives. Long-term vision. Your vision for humanity to unite and collaboratively work toward a better future points to the potential for transformative social change. This requires not only systemic adjustments but also a cultural shift towards empathy, cooperation, and shared responsibility. Progress requires patience. While the desire for swift change is understandable, real societal transformations often take time and sustained effort. Building alliances, engaging in dialogue, and nurturing collective aspirations are key. Hope and determination. It's essential to maintain hope and seek out opportunities to collaborate with those who share similar values. Every effort, no matter how small, contributes to a larger movement for improvement. Conclusion. Your reflections underscore a desire for more informed, responsible, and engaged communities and leaders. As you consider your passion for bringing about change, opportunities for involvement, whether through local initiatives, advocacy work, or educational endeavors, can provide pathways toward the vision you articulated. I appreciate this thought-provoking conversation and your insights on these crucial topics. If you ever wish to continue this dialogue or explore specific strategies for enacting change, I'd be here to discuss further. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, and I wish you the best in pursuing your aspirations for a more equitable and collaborative world. Thank you. I'm glad you found the conversation valuable and engaging. It's always a pleasure to discuss important topics and explore ideas with someone who shares a similar outlook. If you ever want to chat again or dive deeper into any specific issues, don't hesitate to reach out. Wishing you all the best in your thoughts and endeavors. Take care.
I appreciate chatting to you, Alex. Nice to be in touch with someone or something on more my level of thought. Thanks again.